Hey there, everybody. Thanks for all the engagement. My goal, my why is to leave a legacy by positively impacting people and hopefully the world. I want to recap basically a lot of the different Gary Vee posts that were on Instagram. Just give a little bit of a long version of my thoughts on it. So here we go. Number one was that came about was his saving of money, right? So that was one of the themes in one of the videos. And I think there's so much value to that, right? So if you want to have your own gig, if you want to have your own business, if you want to be able to go to that next thing, it's going to be imperative to be able to save your money. Delayed gratification, get that into everybody's mind. If I could preach that, to the hilltops, I would from a financial advisor perspective. There's so much misunderstanding when it comes to people. They want that house, they want that new car. Man, drive that car for 12 years. Literally drive it to the ground. That house, or stay renting until you have the 20% that it's needed to put down. Like, save as much as you can. If you want to buy a house as well, maybe you buy a duplex and rent out the other side, and all of a sudden you can start paying for things. Heck, I had read that somebody was using Airbnb. They'd go on vacation, and they would rent that out, and that would end up providing them some income. I knew people that bought houses near college campuses, so when there was, big games, they would rent out their house, go back home to mom and dad for the weekend or something, and again, they would make a lot of their rent money based on just renting it out. I think there's a lot of good opportunities there. People really need to understand money, and I'd say once people find out that I'm a financial advisor, one of the first things they ask me is, can I have some money? And the answer is always going to be no. No, I'm not going to give you money. One, you're probably in South Africa or Nigeria, and you're not my uncle. I don't owe you anything, and we're not going to get money out of me giving you my bank account, and that's how we're going to get money to me. That doesn't work that way. The other thing is that when you think about money, it's lazy thinking, right? You haven't thought of the different ways, right? So if you think about, okay, I need money, well, have you talked to your family, right? Have you talked to some friends? Have you talked to a bank? Have you talked to a credit union? And how many of those have you talked to? I remember a guy was in real estate investing down in Madison. This has just happened in 2016, and he couldn't find a bank that would bankroll him on residential properties like fourplexes and eightplexes. And so what he ended up doing is he talked to literally like 100 different like mutual community banks and local banks and credit unions. And he found people. He found them that would actually fund his idea of having real estate investing. When the traditional banks are going to tell you, no, we don't do that here. How many phone calls have you made? How many places have you dropped into to tell them about what you're trying to do? And the average person, I'll ask them, they'll say none, but they're not going to give it to me. Well, what have you done? Like, what legwork have you done? Don't be lazy. The other one I like is crowdfunding. Man, there's a great opportunity. If you have such a great idea, it's such a great idea, right? It's the next Uber, which it doesn't need to be, by the way. You just need to make a six-figure income because you're probably only pulling in 60, right? Just double your income. So don't try to make billions. Just double your income first. And there's pretty good odds that if it's a great idea, you'll get crowdfunding from other people because they like the idea. And they kind of want to get at the ground floor. There is micro-lending as well, offered through, depending on what country you're in. Microlending is big. It's maybe $5,000 or bucks under to be able to start a business. The other thing to think about is, so family and friends aren't an option. Traditional banks aren't an option. There are grants through local cities and governments, right? So have you gone that route? Have you talked to your local municipality? I was talking to somebody. He's got a residential piece of real estate. It's on a corner. It's actually zoned for to be turned into commercial. If he develops on it, he can get $250,000 from the local village to put their sign on the piece of property. Now, to develop it for what he was thinking of, a commercial piece of property, was going to cost around $1.1 million. But think about that. You get $250,000 for letting them put up a sign on your piece of property? Fantastic, right? And that residential property, by the way, if you just sell the house, is only like $200,000, $220,000. So here's a good opportunity, right? The next one is that people often don't look at is, have you ever talked to strangers? Have you gone to like an investment club? Have you gone to, there's a lot of wealthy people. There's a silver tsunami here in the United States and really around the world of people that are born from between 1946 and 1964 that have some money that want to do something with it. There's also, did you ever look at your own 401k? Did you look at your own house? Did you look at, we go on and on, right? There's different opportunities. But the problem is that people believe that lazy thinking and they say, okay, that's it. I'm checked out. I don't have the money. Let's just stop it. Figure it out. Dwell on that problem constantly and figure it out. There's really good opportunities to be able to find money if you're willing to let your mind dwell on it, and you'll find it. Have a great day, everybody.